Mr Deputy Speaker. The timid response from the Labour Party is truly shocking. But regardless of what we've just heard, Waspi women at long last have been finally vindicated after 5 long years by the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman report. 3.8 million women were impacted, of which 270,000 have died without ever receiving their rightful pension. And despite what the Minister says, the verdict of the Ombudsman report on the DWP is damning and unequivocal, and weasel words won't change that. Women born in the 1950s had their pension age raised with little or no notice, and there have been failings at every turn by successive UK governments. The report states these women are owed compensation. The DWP has refused to comply and must be held accountable for doing so, and that there was a failure to adequately inform women of the state pension age change. And these failures, Mr Deputy Speaker, have had a devastating impact on lives, on retirements and the financial and emotional well-being of Waspi women. Many reduced to poverty after being robbed of tens of thousands of pounds of pension. And that suffering has been caused by and is the responsibility of this broken Westminster system and this Westminster cosy consensus. Financial redress is vital for these women in the interests of justice. Clearly Labour are not interested in that, but what we need from the Government is a commitment to prompt compensation for these women with no barriers erected to prevent access to it, which recognises their financial loss and distress. We cannot have a situation where Waspi women have their campaign for justice vindicated, yet continue to be ignored, and any attempt to do so will result in a rightful backlash. We in the SNP stand shoulder to shoulder with these women who have been abandoned and betrayed by the UK Government and the future Labour Government. Can the Secretary of State tell this House what it will take to compensate these women? Do we need another TV drama to embarrass and shame them into doing the right thing? These women are not going away, but the longer this injustice is left unresolved, the greater the number of Waspi women who will die without seeing their pension. Shame on this place.
Well, the Honourable Lady refers to doing the right thing, and I think doing the right thing by the people that the Honourable Lady describes is to look very closely and carefully and diligently at this report. It has been 5 years in gestation. It is detailed. It runs to 100 pages. It draws upon a vast reservoir of evidence, and it is only right and proper, given that the report was only published on Thursday and today is Monday, for all of us to have time to properly consider its findings. Now, the Honourable Lady refers to the general situation of pensioners. All I can say, Mr Deputy Speaker, is that I am very pleased and reassured that pensions generally is a reserved matter, and that we have been able to increase the state pension last year by 10.1%, this coming year by 8.5%, that we have pressed so hard on promoting pension credit for poorer pensioners, that we had a cost of living payment, that this government centrally as a reserved matter, was able to provide £300 to pensioners last November alongside their winter fuel payment, and that as a consequence of that we have...
Order. The Honourable Lady has asked a question. Please listen to the... Order. Secretary of State.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I was merely pointing out, Mr Deputy Speaker, the fact that we are standing full square right across the United Kingdom, full square behind our pensioners to support them, and that is why under this government there are 200,000 fewer pensioners in poverty after housing costs than there were in 2010.